Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Left to Center, your favorite podcast. We are twice a week.
So we say.
We are twice a week. We're very highly caffeinated, and I'm a Pisces.
Nice shirt.
That's a very nice intro.
Thank you, John.
It's a real nice shirt. Let me get a look at that.
Steely freaking Dan, baby.
It's one of our
classic.
favorites.
Yeah, it's got Hammond on the back of it, by the way. It's
really?
Yeah, man. That was,
Hammond. When did they come to Hammond? They didn't come to Hammond.
Yeah.
Indiana?
They came to Hammond. No. Hammond, Louisiana. What the hell do you think I'm talking about?
It's rhetorical.
Hammond, Oregon.
Hammond, Oregon.
There is a Hammond, Louisiana. No,
there is.
Yeah, I often talk about Hammond, Louisiana, just to keep people thoroughly confused. Yeah, they came to Hammond, Louisiana, and I wear a shirt.
I thought
They
did
came
I go
to
to
our
that show with you?
Yeah.
I
Shit
guess
for brains. You were with me.
Kind of forgot.
So was your wife. It was a nice event.
They
I
played
paid
at
a
the
lot
venue.
of money.
I mean, they played in
was
they
a
played in
fundraiser.
Maryville.
It was a fundraiser, remember?
Oh yeah.
Skybox.
Yes.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Kevin, what's going on up there, man?
Dude, what
I don't
the
know.
hell?
Too much stuff in my
How
head.
could you forget that show?
I mean, this is the
It
guy
was
that
a great
represents
show.
me, John. Like he's supposed to like.
I'm losing it.
I know, dude. I'm like a little worried.
I kind of forgot about that show, but I remember now.
I kind of forgot
Thank
about
you.
that show, huh?
But I didn't get a
It was
I didn't
nice
get
event.
a shirt.
It was a committee to
It was
elect.
a very nice event.
It was a Tom McDermott.
Now
fundraiser.
don't worry, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah. I hope so.
Coming back.
I love.
I
Steely
played
Dan.
Hey 19 as I was leaving True yesterday. I was jamming
did
on
you?
Hey 19. I
Nice.
love that song.
Did you start punching the window?
Did
and stuff
not.
like that?
I did not. I didn't get all riled up like I usually do with Steely Dan.
Did you realize, Jill, that Kevin Smith is one of the few Americans that when he listens to Steely Dan becomes dangerously violent?
That just happened one time.
Kevin feels like
Oh.
he's got a lot of white man rage inside.
There was
him.
no, I don't.
You'll see it bust out when you play a little Steely Dan.
I heard about this story.
Learn to
We've
play
said that. We've told that on this pod before.
saxophone, and I can. And Kevin's like punching walls,
No.
like ah.
There was
like the Incredible
There
Hulk.
was a dude in front of me in a sweater that was like shushing us.
I
And
know.
I didn't take kindly to that.
You did not.
I was like, this
I was
isn't
like,
like this
Steely
isn't an
Dan.
effing symphony. I mean, it's Steely Dan. I mean,
It's
and he like wouldn't
but, like,
stop.
You know what I'm saying?
He
John?
was shushing us.
Everybody at a Steely Dan concert is drinking wine and getting high, and Kevin's like raging.
I was
like
I was
his
defending
One
I was
man
defending
mosh
our
pit.
I was defending us
One
having
man
fun at
mosh
a
pit.
at a concert.
Yeah, you were gonna.
Did
get
you-
mad.
You actually punched him?
No, I did not.
It was getting a little heated.
He stood up and turned around, and I was standing up, and like he had a sweater
They were
on. I mean,
talking-
come on,
he
a
did
guy in
have
a
a-
sweater is
You
not
can't
gonna
take that from a guy in a sweater.
exactly. And so,
And I'm like,
Tom was like, Kevin, calm down.
I'm like, and we walk out. I'm like, dude, we're at a freaking Steely Dan concert. You're getting in a fight.
I was like, go F yourself. This isn't a symphony. I mean, he's like, shh, shh, shh. I was like, what the? I mean, come on.
Wine makes
Learn
Kevin
to
rage,
work
man.
No,
the
man.
saxophone.
And there was, there was some other stuff going on. That wasn't at the Hammond show. It was at the Maryville
Drink
show, by the
scotch
way.
whiskey. Get the fuck out of here all day long.
And the guy was like, shh.
And die behind the wheel.
I just thought it was a little inappropriate to be shushed.
I don't know why, but it makes total sense for Kevin to get into a fight at a Steely Dan show.
That's the only place I think I could hold my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin's
You would
like-
never dare pick a fight at like the Nelly concert.
No.
No.
We need them to play the fest next
Or
year.
like
I
a
need to
Limp
witness
Bizkit.
this.
Kevin would get beat
Biscuit.
down at that, but like,
Oh yeah.
at a Steely Dan concert, he's like at the top
I'm
top
like
5%.
I could take all these old men in sweaters.
Kevin could
I
take 95% of a Steely Dan audience. He knows he's safe there. Nelly, no, ain't
No,
happening.
man. I'm like, hey man, whatever you want to
It's
do.
cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry, I was talking.
Yeah, sorry,
All right,
man.
sorry about that.
Sorry, sir.
It's hot in here.
It's
It's getting hot in here. I'm being
here.
shushed.
Isn't
I'll
that-
take it.
Is that Nelly? So take off
Yeah.
all your. It's not Nelly.
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
thank you.
Well, that's
It's
our
getting
show.
hot in here.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah.
It
Hammond,
is?
Indiana.
Oh, it is?
They're coming to Hammond, Indiana this year, by the way.
Oh,
Did
I
you
knew
know
that.
that?
I
You guys are
didn't
gonna
know
need to
that
get your
song
So you
shit
didn't know
together
it's
before
good-
the fest.
I should know that, by the way.
See?
I met him.
Maybe your brain's going too.
Possibly.
See?
But I'm not the one representing the city Hammond legally.
No, you're just representing the city of
I
Hammond
know. I
outwardly.
just don't have to get. None of that was scripted, by the way.
No,
That's just
that just
natural.
came out
We're
of
just
nowhere.
riffing. We're just riffing.
Thank you for
riot.
listening.
By the way, you get to
Yes.
do this for free. You don't even have to pay $6 a month to listen to us do this kind of stuff.
No.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
This, by the way,
Soon
I
we'll
brought-
be paying our viewers to watch
Yeah,
this.
we will pay you $6 a month through Apple Pod.
It won't last for long.
It'll-
Maybe one show, but then we'll
I've
run out
lined
of
it
money.
up. It's Kevin's debit card that'll pay you the $6 a month. So.
I've stopped using a debit card, by the way.
What do
I-
you use?
Credit
Cash.
or cash? Credit or
I
credit?
use coins.
I use credit.
Credit or credit?
Credit or cash.
I don't even have a debit card.
You know what?
Really?
Because I was talking to a banker and they're like, we love debit cards.
Yeah.
They love it. I was like, really? Why?
Because the
It's
money
like,
comes right
exactly.
out of your account. I know.
And
you
they
don't get any flow.
Exactly.
Right.
And they were like, we love debit
finance
cards.
major.
And I said, you know what?
It's
I'm
bull
stopped.
crap.
That's it.
I
The
know.
end of me using a debit card.
I don't like debit cards either. I use it, but
I'm saying, you know what? I'll do credit. I'll get points, and then I'll just pay it off at the end of the month.
Look at you, Pim. Look at you.
That's been going on for
This
years.
is money matters.
The
with
dream.
Kevin Smith.
This is not a new revelation. This is a decade
You are
long.
a smart son of a gun.
After the
Kevin.
banker
I
told me
always
he
knew
liked
that.
debit cards, I knew that was the end of that.
You're like, who was the banker? Phil Taylor.
I bet Kevin has a metal credit card.
Then he lost. No, I do not.
It's not. You don't have a
No.
metal one.
I would think you do, John. Actually, I think that's up your alley.
I
wish I had a metal.
I have a
credit
black
card.
one that's cool,
Nice.
but it's not
Look at
heavy
you.
or anything. It's not heavy. It's a business card.
We were at pre-show last night. I was talking about.
I've
pre-show.
never seen Kevin's credit card because he never pays. You know that, John?
That's Phil Talon.
One day I'll actually
Why-
see his
That's
credit
Phil,
card.
not me.
Yeah.
that would not be me.
I have seen Kevin pay for stuff.
Thank you,
before.
John.
Kevin does
Yeah.
pay for stuff. Phil Taylor, never.
No, or if he does, he complains about it ad infinitum. Ad
I
infinitum.
I
For
paid in
sure.
2019.
Yeah.
was
If I hear
expensive.
one more time about the fact he had to buy drinks in Indianapolis, he's brought it to like 20 people, if not
Yeah.
more.
A lot of times he'll put that on HTC too. He's like, I got this. It's like, dude, it's a city credit
I
card.
got this, man.
So we were at pre-show last night.
guys, I got this.
Poor Phil.
No, that never happens. It never is like, guys. I got
let
this.
me pick this up.
It's like accidental, John, or he loses credit card roulette.
It's the credit card roulette. That's the only time he pays when he loses that. Yeah.
So we were pre-show last night, and usually we are very consistent with our orders, right? We get
Cobb
the
salad
kind of drinks
infidelity.
we get. That's right, Cobb
Yeah.
salad. Thank you. I wonder what episode that was.
The drink?
Cobb salad infidelity, and our drinks are pretty consistent, right?
Uh-huh.
So yesterday, Tom totally surprised me with I'm going off the menu. He walked in, he said, I am hungry.
Fried chicken.
I'm not getting a Cobb salad. Got the fried chicken.
What?
Which, yes.
They have the hot barbecue, which makes me happy because I can't get that at my freaking.
You should have
B-Dubs.
heard the complaints here
What's that?
from you about
Yeah.
the hard barbecue.
Who gets rid of a freaking sauce flavor?
Oh, here
Like
we
it
go.
costs them extra money. B-Dubs has to pay extra money because they have hot barbecue.
And you're
They
talking
don't
about
have that anymore?
No, they got
the
rid of
fuck?
it.
This is
I
a
haven't
corporate,
been
this
there
is a
since.
corporate complaint, not a
Yeah,
local
it's a
complaint.
corporate complaint. Screw you, B-Dubs. I'm
Well-
back at war with B-Dubs.
Oh no.
I
But
did
we still
this.
love
I
our
held
local
out.
B-Dubs.
I'm still hunger striking until they bring back
No.
hot barbecue. I will not freaking go to B-Dubs. That's bullshit, man. That's my flavor.
True got rid of your ahi tuna.
I know, but they have hot barbecue and they have other things. But like B-Dubs, that was my flavor, man. I spent
right.
lots of money eating that flavor.
Hot barbecue.
And then they make a corporate decision. Nope, we're getting rid of hot barbecue.
See, I don't get that. Why would you just get rid of a sauce? How hard
It
is
was
it to
aimed at
keep
me.
a sauce?
It was
though?
aimed at me.
Oh, of course.
They did.
It went right at you.
They did. They knew. They were like, they remember my one-man hunger strike. And they were like, I know how we can freaking screw with Mayor
I
McDermott.
mean, you were mean to B-Dubs for a while.
I was. And then I came back around. And then I was a solid customer going to B-Dubs. And then I start hearing these nasty rumors like, oh,
These rumors.
you better stock up on
Like-
hot barbecue. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Nasty
you got like
rumors.
freaking 30 flavors. Why would you pick
Well,
that one?
Let me tell you what happened with something that I enjoyed. For a while, I don't go to fast food as much as I
Peloton
used to.
male workouts.
No.
What happened with those?
High C Orange at McDonald's, right?
Oh, yeah, Kevin.
They got rid of it. And then there was a petition drive, and
Yeah,
McDonald's
like
brought it back.
4-year-olds across the country were pissed.
Yeah, and I was with them.
And Kevin.
And me.
It's delicious.
And it's back now. Do you need to start a petition drive for hot barbecue?
I am. I'm doing it
do
right
it.
now. You're not
High C
cooperating.
Orange. I'm in. I'll
I'm
sign.
trying to
I don't
do it.
like hot barbecue, but I'll
I would
sign your
support
petition.
you on your high C.
Sure,
like you didn't even
exactly.
talk to me. I
That's
would have
why
done
I'm
that.
in.
I have a good friend like that. All you
I
have to
know.
do is say,
I'm
hey,
in
would
on
you
your hot
sign this?
barbecue. Start the petition.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I like
All right.
this segment. It's a new segment called Tom's Middle Finger.
Thank you. Tom's middle finger.
You
got it.
Tom has been.
I love it.
That's it.
That was the mailbag
God dang, John.
intro, John.
Hey man,
So we
once
have
in a while I
mailbag
come
and-
up with a.
Tom's middle finger.
Yes. It's a Tom got,
Yeah,
or maybe
Tom.
like it's also Tom got screwed.
Followed by Tom's apologies.
Yes. I'd like to apologize to
Oh, by the
B-Dubs.
way, yeah. Tom's apology is a good segment too.
We haven't had that in a while.
I
Who have
know.
you offended? B-Dubs
Plenty
today.
of people. Plenty of people. I got one of them. I was talking to this person the other day, and I was like, "Hey, you should think about coming on the show." And they're like, "No."
Oh.
Like
Wow.
a hard no. Like a hard no.
Wow.
And I was like, "What's what?" And they were like, "Yeah, I listened to a couple of your shows. You're pretty rough on me."
Oh.
I don't know if I should apologize.
Maybe you
'cause it
should.
would-
No,
That
don't
really
do that.
doesn't
No,
narrow
no,
it
no,
down.
don't give
No,
that
no,
away.
because like no, I'm working.
we're
it.
gonna make it up to that person.
We are, but like
and
yeah,
they will be on.
It was a hard no,
Oh, soon enough.
but it's fine. I mean, it is because you know what? Honestly, by the way, like I
John,
want to
the
remind
list
people.
is too long, John.
I want to remind people. Okay, I lost like 1 year ago,
Yes.
and I went through like a thing.
Yes.
Like if you lose something, you go through
so everyone
stages
should
of
just
grief.
forgive you for that?
What's the stage of grief, Kevin? You remember?
No, but
Denial.
anger.
Denial, right?
Anger.
Anger. What else?
Resentment? I don't know.
Resentment could be. I don't think it is. I know acceptance
Depression.
is one of them. Depression? I don't know.
know.
Okay, so let's just say we hit
Sadness?
the major ones, right? Shock, I think, is one of them, right? Like, hey, you lost the election. I'm like, I'm shocked, right? And then I'm like, denial, like, I didn't lose the election. Like Trump never got over that part, right? But I did.
He's
It
still
took
on
me
it.
like a couple hours to realize you lost, right?
Yep.
And then what's the next phase?
Here it is.
Anger, right? Thank you.
Have you gotten over that phase?
No, I mean, but eventually I will.
Denial, anger, bargaining.
Oh, bargaining. Like
Bargaining.
Oh, wait.
Pain and guilt.
What would be bargaining in this
Should I call out
situation?
Frank?
Like, yeah.
I got.
Can I?
Hey Frank,
you know,
I got a proposition
can you
for
call
you.
me congressman for like one day? What would be?
Bargaining. Like if I only spent more time with her, she would have stayed.
Oh,
You know?
bargaining.
Nobody left me.
Like with
though.
yourself, bargaining with yourself, John?
Yeah, bargaining with yourself.
Oh, like so if I only would have done that.
If I
it
only
wasn't for
knocked
COVID,
on one
I
more
would have
door.
won.
There wasn't a
Oh, I
pandemic.
did a lot of
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
See,
true.
I didn't even realize that. Okay, so I did bargain.
So
a
you've
lot.
been through bargaining,
Yep.
and now
Oh shit! In my head, I was going through all
sure.
my whole freaking first 2 episodes on the podcast
Yeah,
were
for
bargaining.
bargaining.
Just two?
The first 2 were like exclusively. We should have
called
renamed
them that.
Bargaining.
Bargaining 1.
Step 3.
And bargaining 2. Step 2. Bargaining.
And then there's depression.
Oh, that wasn't.
I went
there.
through that.
All right.
Still in it, maybe?
No, I
he's
bought
out
2.
of that.
Is there a part about buying Mustangs?
Yeah,
Life
that's bargaining.
crisis.
I bought 2.
Does that count? That's double.
And then acceptance.
Yeah, I think
I'm
you're
there.
there.
I'm
You're
there. All right. So,
All
but
right, so
like,
with hot sauce, where are we?
so hold it. Yeah, I'm still in anger on that one. So, like, let's focus. So, to this person that's out there, and he's secretly listening, and he's
Or she.
or she. And by the way, we've sort of turned a corner, and we're talking. Step 2 of any huge loss is anger. I was angry.
You were.
Okay. So, like, it's a normal thing I went through, right?
So you're saying that person should forgive you and move, and we should
Just
come on.
understand, by the way, this person's not
Understanding.
perfect. This person's not perfect either.
All right, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
This perfect person is not perfect either. They've done things in the past. We've had a long relationship. They've done things in the past. I've done things in the past. I fucked up sometimes. They certainly have as well.
So let's get together on the pod.
Yeah.
All
Get
right,
your
fair
ass
enough.
in the studio.
All right.
And let's have some fun.
Good. Speaking about angry,
I didn't even address it directly to him or her or
That's
it.
right.
It could be
he or she or them.
could be anything.
They.
They.
Could be a,
they them.
Could be a figment of my imagination. It could be a lot of things.
Speaking of angry, I saw something yesterday that made me angry, and that was that the Bears said they were putting an offer out on Arlington Racetrack.
The Arlington Bears.
I don't like that.
They're going
at
to
all.
change the name to the horses too. The Arlington Thoroughbreds.
I don't like this
Did
idea.
you know that?
I don't like it.
It's bargaining. This
I'm
is
with.
all-
They're not angry yet. Lori Lightfoot's angry. I am angry. I don't like that idea. I love going to Soldier Field
They're
on the
not
lakefront.
going to leave Soldier Field.
They
can't.
can't, can they?
There's no
No.
way.
Do people
What would they
still
do at
care
that
about the
stadium?
Bears?
Dude, any place where there's like a
The
stadium,
fire play there, John.
like in the Giant Stadium in New York, Giants
Yes.
and Jets Stadium,
It's in
there's
New
like
Jersey.
public transportation to those places.
New
You have
Jersey.
to New Jersey, right? But it's close enough to Manhattan where you
Sure.
could take like public transportation
Sure.
to get there and back.
Can't do
right?
that to Arlington.
Washington D.C. same thing.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
Washington D.C.
You're
It's
right.
not
We've
close
done that
to
to the
Washington
Redskins.
at all. It's like a train
Or
right
not
away.
the Redskins. I'm sorry, the Washington football team.
Right. Yeah, but we went there for a Notre Dame game.
Yeah, we did.
But like, so the thing about Arlington that doesn't make sense is nobody would be able to take public transportation to it from Chicago.
Arlington Heights is a trek, man.
It's a freaking car ride down 394. There's no way in hell this is happening.
294,
I'm not
yeah.
even going to like get stressed about it at all, because it's not going to happen.
Posturing. Well, I mean,
It's
if you,
posturing.
we're old enough to know, like in the '80s, when I think maybe it was the early '90s when your dad was mayor. Like,
was.
there was this idea of Planet Park that was going to be
Late
located
80s,
in
early 90s.
like Gary or along Klein Avenue.
Yeah, it's sort of where the airport is.
yeah, that was going to be the Bears' new stadium. So they've done this before.
They've done it
Isn't
before.
I just hope they stay in
It
Chicago.
worked well for them, by the way,
Yeah,
because they got
they
the new
reinvested
stadium.
in the
right?
new stadium.
That's right.
Wow.
Has
Let's
it
see
been
what
that long
happens.
already?
I think that was a different iteration of maybe we're going to move, but they can't move to Arlington Heights, right?
No.
They can't do that.
No.
All right.
Hey, I want to do one sad note and reminder to people that we still have a deadly pandemic. And, you know, I don't know if this individual was vaccinated or not. I don't really think it's my position to ask or ask the family because I can't, unfortunately, talk to this gentleman anymore because he passed. We lost a Hammond police officer in the line of duty. He got COVID in the line of duty. And his name is Sergeant Tom Sawyer. Badge number 448. We lost him yesterday to COVID. 53 years old. It's a horrible, horrible tragedy. He's a family man. He's a great officer. He's a great person. I know him well. I know the police department's in mourning right now, and I did want to say that we're thinking about you to the Hammond police officers and to the family of Sergeant Tom Sawyer, who we lost at the age of 53 to COVID yesterday.
Yeah, he had been hospitalized for some time, and I was talking to one of the chiefs yesterday, and he had explained to me that he was having some good days, and then he'd go down again, and then he was up in Chicago. They tried to give him some really kind of on the edge medicine to see if that would help, and it didn't help. So it is a bitter pill to swallow, and it's a reminder, I think, to all of us that this pandemic isn't gone yet at all.
No,
and
like, you know, there was an article in the local paper yesterday where I was quoted talking about my philosophy on like the fast and, you know, the fact that Hammond only has less than a 40% vaccination rate, which is shocking to me.
I am shocked about that.
Right. And then they were like, what are you going to do in the article to encourage Hammond's higher vaccination? And I basically said, I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easily available. I would care if there was like shortages and people were waiting in line.
That's different. Then I think you feel as mayor more of an obligation.
Yeah, like if there's a shortage and like people are dying to get it and they want to get it and they can't get it, that's one thing. There's plenty of shots available. If people don't want to get it, I'll be honest with you. I think it's sad, but I don't give a shit that I'm going to continue to not wear my mask. And if I'm carrying this around accidentally and I accidentally give it to somebody that's refusing to get a vaccine, that's too goddamn bad. It sucks, actually. But if I give somebody COVID, I mean, I don't want to, but like, I'm not going to continue to wear a mask the rest of my life because some people don't want to get a shot.
Yeah, I would say that if you're not vaccinated or you haven't had the shot or whatever you want to call it, wear a mask because I think it's still out there.
They should. If you don't want to wear a mask
and you get it, I mean, I don't want to see anybody get sick because there's an opportunity to avoid getting sick and dying from COVID out there, and there's several. You can literally sign up and go in today, and you can sign up, schedule it, go in today, and get a shot.
Yeah,
it is that available.
I mean, Tom Sawyer's strong 53-year-old.
Yeah.
Police
this is a man who was injured significantly in the line of duty in the past. Too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone through a lot.
Fights.
Yeah.
And
this is a strong first responder.
A strong first responder, police officer.
Serve and protect the city,
gets it,
for sure.
And it just crippled him and took his life. And it's sad. And if that's not a reminder, I don't know what it is. You know, it's not a fake disease. You know, it's not a political thing. Get the damn shot.
And by the way, getting the shot, I mean, you may say like, oh, it's not going to protect me 100%. You're right, but it's not going to. It really does, and from everything I've seen and read, is that it protects you from dying from the disease. Mm-hmm. You know, you may get a mild case, you might get no case, but you're not going to die from.
I think Vesmar walked out of the studio.
No, I mean, John knows how we feel about this. I mean, I want John to get the shot, but because I don't want to see anything happen to him.
I'm going to give it to him. Actually, he's going to be sleeping.
John. We're going to tie you down.
No, it is quite sad. I jumped on Facebook last night, and I felt like I was just scrolling forever, and it was all. Everyone had changed their profile picture to his badge number.
Oh wow!
It was
they're shaking up over it.
This is a death in the line of duty as far as the police department's concerned, and I'm trying to think. I think it's my first.
It is
officer fatality since I've been mayor.
Mm-hmm. Wow!
Like I've had officers pass, and but this is it sucks. So.
Yeah. So our hearts out to the HPD and everybody involved in the city, of course. For that. And all police officers who are doing what they can every day to help us.
And it's a reminder, please do the right thing, get your shots, so that we can get over this pandemic and move forward and, honor the 600,000 lives we lost already. So,
yep.
All right, I'm done preaching.
All right, Jill, whose brother's a police officer, by the way.
Yep.
So I know she is dealing with this as well. Jill, how about the spiel? And then we're going to do some ads and come back and talk about Juneteenth.
You are listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while having way too much fun while doing it. If you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod. If you can't listen in live, you can download our episodes on the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio apps. Just search Left of Center and look for the red and blue logo. Don't forget to subscribe and rate on every one of those applications. If you would like to advertise on our show, send an email to steve@lockpod.com. And for those of you who can't spell Steve, it's S as in Steve, T as in Tom, E as in Eve, V as in Victory, and another E.
It could be like Steave. I mean,
Steve.
I got a silent E. Steve. Steve.
Like Steven with a PH.
Yeah,
Some people
it's
spell it that
Steve,
way.
like normal Steve
Yes,
spelling.
it's with a V.
Steve with a V.
Steve
Is
with
that
a V.
Steve with a PH? No, it's Steve with a V. Oh, okay. Because I've seen a lot of PH Steves.
All right.
Okay.
You want me to do the number one this time, or
Sure.
you want to do it?
You go ahead.
Powering America is our top sponsor and is Northwest Indiana's source for a trusted electrical professional. If you're a developer looking for a large-scale electrical contractor, Powering America can help take the guesswork out of finding a professional you can trust. Their select network of electrical contractors are committed to employing local electricians that have successfully completed a certified apprenticeship training program registered with the Indiana Department of Labor. All employees are held to a high standard of professionalism, expertise, and knowledge, and all of their contractors are licensed, bonded, and insured.
All of them.
If you would like more information about your electrical needs, visit Powering American today at certifiedelectrician.com. Thank you to Powering America.
Great inflection.
I'm trying to keep up with the locomotive.
It's like,
Not
I could
easy.
see it's in the Smith DNA. It's the inflection. It's the voice.
Trying.
I mean, I could tell.
Trying to keep
That's
up.
why Matt Money Smith is so famous.
Got to get him on the show one of these days.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, I got to
Say you got a famous brother. We'll save him for season 4.
That's
Like,
good. Not a bad idea.
You should have busted him out in season 1.
Yeah, well, we're saving him.
Yeah, what's going on?
That,
man?
and I wouldn't
We'll get
say
him.
we. If it was up to me, he'd have been on months ago.
We'll get him. He said anytime.
Matt Money. Yeah, I know. He did say that.
Why are
You're
you
just like,
keeping him from us?
I'm not.
"Eh,
I'm not.
Season 5, season 6.
All right, we'll
bust
get him
out."
on. We'll get him on.
Right?
We'll get him on.
It's
I
all right.
promise you.
There's been issues in this studio. Like it's been like Tom has said. Like, why is John like he doesn't want to have a backup producer?
And that's
Yeah.
why is Kevin.
So all this
Good call,
stuff,
John.
all this stuff has been like checked off the list. Except
Yes.
why hasn't Kevin
Yes.
brought in his brother for an interview?
all right, I will get him
Interesting.
going. I
Interesting.
promise you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I even have
5:30
a
and-
backup.
Yeah, you do. Who?
Everybody in the studio. I mean, Phil's pretty much my backup, right?
Whoa.
Phil's a backup
I
for all
disagree.
of us.
I'm not going there.
I love
like
Phil.
Phil is the backup locomotive. No,
I mean, you don't call it the backup locomotive. It's like
What is
the
it then?
emergency supply.
No.
I mean, it's just like it gets you through like
They're the
next-
truck that drives onto the tracks. They got the little
Yeah,
railroad
right. Little
wheels.
truck, very little.
small wheels.
The gas mileage is terrible, and it gets you to the next stop. That's it.
Barely.
That's it.
Not even past the next stop. It gets you
Sometimes.
to the next stop. That's Phil. That's what he does for our show.
All right.
Gets us to the next stop.
He's not listening, John. So
Barely.
it doesn't matter.
Barely gets us to the next stop.
For sure, he's not listening. He's
So like
still
the
in bed.
backup
Rolling
locomotive.
over.
I like
All
it.
right.
Okay.
He's not a backup locomotive, but all right, here we go.
He's the emergency backup
Yeah, it's
emergency
like pull the
supply.
ripcord.
Grisolias. Did you know that Bernie Grisolia is the
Bernie who?
Grisolia is 2 years running like #1 times.
That's what
best
I've heard.
of. He's like he specializes in California
I
style.
saw Bernie the other day. He's nice to see him.
He's very handsome
Very
too.
and a very pleasant fella.
To the ladies out there listening, a lot of times when they pour your concrete, Bernie and his crew go shirtless.
Really?
This is not in the ads; it's just the truth. Yeah.
I've not seen that.
And today's
about
supposed to be a
Bernie.
hot day. So for instance, if Bernie and his crew are working at your house today, hot day, they go shirtless, and the ladies just get to sit inside and enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
Or men, if you're
True.
you know,
True.
if you're
Whatever.
inclined.
He has a
Or
lot
if
of
you just like to see beauty.
Bernie has crossover appeal. Bernie is like loved universally by men and women.
I don't think Bernie,
I love Bernie.
Everybody loves Bernie.
I love Bernie, but not because like
You've seen
of
him
his shirt.
with his shirt
I mean,
up.
I just love Bernie.
I know you've seen him.
I
with the
tell you
shirt
what,
up.
if I was, he wouldn't be on the bottom of the list. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I'm with you.
Not a
Who
bottom.
would be, John?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Let's
that beg the
go.
Who
question?
would be on the bottom
Phil?
of the list?
John has a list. Like I want to hear this list.
I mean, I haven't written it down.
All right, well, let's think
I haven't
about
really
that.
given it much thought.
Think about that while we rip through these commercials.
Okay, what
here.
I'm doing is you
These
have to
ads.
sing.
I'm just saying there's less attractive men out there than Bernie.
You
That's
gotta
what I'm
sing,
saying.
You guys got to sing
I wanna know
California style because usually I'm the backup on.
Oh,
this
you're
show.
right.
Right. Okay. Grisolia's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region 2020 and specializes in all your concrete projects. Grisolia's has been using the original cement finish in
California style. Do this. Thank you. I need to do this.
since 1972 and also offers stamped and colored concrete. For more information
Shirtless.
or a project quote, yeah, he will do it shirtless for you.
Maybe that's how he gets voted top. You know what?
That's
Now
it.
we figured out the little.
Yeah, he's super handsome.
That's his.
Oh, it's so hot out here. I have to go shirtless, and they're like,
By the way, text this number to vote us #1.
It's got, like,
on
written-
it's on the back in
Right.
marker on their
It's
backs.
like a crisp fall day. He's
It
like,
is like,
so
it's like 64. They're like, God, he's got to be cold.
Stevie.
cloudy.
Yeah.
Don't ask what happens.
That's
when they have their shirts off in that
659-4127.
temperature.
659-4127. That's Grisolia's Concrete, California style, shirtless.
If requested.
If requested, upon request. It's sort of like, what is that Australian dance troupe that comes up here and dances? Like the guys.
No.
Jill, come on.
River dance or whatever?
No, that's Irish.
No, it's Irish. What is it? The male
Thunder
stripper.
from Down Under.
Yes, that's the one.
Come on.
Kevin knew that right
Way
off
to
the
go,
bat.
No,
Kevin.
I was trying to.
Thunder from Down Under. It's like Bernie's got like a bunch
They've
of...
been at the venue.
Bernie's got like... Did you go?
No.
Okay. Bernie's got a bunch
Do you have
of...
the,
Doesn't
shirt? Do you have the
remember.
shirt?
Thunder from Down Under.
Tom's going to wear that shirt on Tuesday.
Kevin didn't go because he couldn't win any fights at a Thunder.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Even at that show, he's in the bottom.
Too risky, John.
Hey, but seriously though, the return on investment for sponsoring this show, we riff on you for like 5 minutes.
I know.
Get
I know.
your ads in now.
Try electronics.
Electronics is harder to riff on. I'm trying.
Trying. Look at
trying
you.
hard.
Oh,
TRIY.
It's hard to
Is that
riff
double
on
I
because we got
N G?
most of these riffs. Try electronics is hard.
They got end to end.
The only one we do is, and you want to be my complete communication provider. That's all I
End-to-end.
got. End to end. I
Yes.
know, but I don't know if that's.
Try Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Try Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years and can provide your business end-to-end communication solutions. For more information, thank you. Call Try Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
What's that phone
and
number?
tell them Lockpod sent you. 800-722-6793.
And you tell them Lockpod sent you?
Tell 'em.
And they go, what the hell is Lockpod?
And they say, what's wrong with your communications? Let us be your end-to-end provider.
End to end. I love it. Okay, so last
All right,
night
here we go.
I was at the Sheriff Martinez fundraiser last night.
Yes, and why is Martinez such an important name in this next ad?
Well, Tortillas Nuevo Leon, it's the family business of Martinez. And I'm a huge fan of the family, huge fan of the sheriff. And,
huge fan of the tortillas?
yeah. I would tear a bowl of freaking Tortilla Nuevo Leon up right now.
Wow.
Put
A
it
bowl
up in
of
front of me.
them.
just
A bowl of tortillas.
Well, I would have to have some like accompanying like salsa. Like
I would think so. Or maybe some meat
or some
I-
veggies.
shrimp.
Dude,
Shrimp.
when
Shrimp
I go-
sounds good today, John.
Yeah.
I'm starving.
Shrimps.
You know, that's one thing about training. I'm hungry all the time. That's why I ate the chicken last night.
You're an athlete.
I'm hungry all the time.
Fried,
I'm just
by the
constantly
way.
hungry. Yeah, I'm losing
Sounds
lots
like
of
a
weight.
dinner of champions.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Anyway, Tortillas Nuevo Leon. So anyway, the story I was getting to before you so rudely interrupted. You did, dude. Like I was on a roll here.
Well, when you said bowl of tortillas, it threw me off.
And then you're like, what about a board tortillas?
True.
So like I was talking to the Martinez brothers last night. They're both the owners of Tortillas Nuevo Leon, and they are buying the song off of Eli.
Come on.
And they thought that I owned it.
Come on.
This is sort of controversial, John. And,
Wait,
and Jill, check this out.
Wait, does Left of Center own it?
We
This
cut
is
him a
interesting.
check.
This is interesting, isn't it?
I think that. Wait, so the question then becomes: do the Martinezes have to buy it from us or from Eli?
I think we just let it simmer for a while. Okay, so this is my thinking
if
here,
Eli gets
and
a
we got a
lawyer.
lawyer here. Okay, so like let's imagine that I think this jingle is going big time, right?
I love it.
So Eli makes this awesome jingle. It's like 30 seconds, and the Martinez brothers want to buy it from him, right? So they buy this jingle from him, and they go national.
Yeah.
And then like Tortillas Nuevo Leon is like 10
More
years from
national
now,
than it already is.
It's like a worldwide brand. You
Wow.
could like get it in Ethiopia and places like
Japan.
that, right? And the jingle, Eli's jingle is like Tortillas
Right.
Nuevo Leon.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Come to do,
Wow, look at you.
that one, right?
I love it.
And so it's like 10 years from
Oh,
now.
that one.
It's massive though. It's like on
Massive.
commercials,
Okay,
right?
everywhere.
And then like,
Everybody's singing it down the street.
and we got this little clip on Lockpod.
Yep.
Lockpod by then is long forgotten, right? We've moved on.
Yeah.
But we still have this clip where I bought that jingle for $250
Little
on
did,
air.
Little did Eli know
We
that
sold-
that we did that as a kind of like a secret way to screw Eli.
Dude, it was an offer.
Here,
and
Eli.
and
Here's
accepted.
a
You want $250
here's a
bucks, there, big
pittance.
guy?
Here's a pittance.
Take this right now. I'll talk to you 10 years from now.
And he's like, no, you don't have to pay me.
Oh,
like,
Eli.
Here, I don't know if you noticed in the clip, Tom is actually stuffing it in Eli's pocket. No, you're
Damn it,
taking
take
this,
it.
Eli.
Take it, Eli. And then he cashes it, of course.
Yes, acceptance.
Boom. And it's like the plant. We laid the seed.
It's such a long play. I love it.
It's a great long play.
Yeah.
it.
It's a great long
And then
play.
all of a sudden we're like, hey, Martinez is
Yo,
You owe us.
you owe us. That's
dude, you're a
infringement.
multinational corporation, and that's my song.
Infringement.
And it's going to be so valuable to them, they can't lose the song at that point, right? So they're gonna have to fork over millions.
Wow.
This
is how Lockpod's finally going to make money.
Yeah. Yeah, the long play. the long play.
Long.
It doesn't even exist anymore, but we're going to cash in.
Dude, they'll be like, what's a
20
Lockpod?
years from now.
Is that a self-storage container?
That's right.
No, they're
No, it was a
millionaires.
failed podcast from the early.
Tortilla Nuevo Leon.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Thank you, Eli.
It is a great jingle.
You should just put like a cash register at the end, like a cash register cha-ching.
You know, I was wondering how Patrick was going to go to college.
Not anymore.
Now I know.
No, that's a longer play than that.
I need that in closed captions, though. I
Patrick's a
don't know what he's
sophomore.
saying.
Yeah, right?
Either.
I don't
Doesn't
know what
matter.
that
It doesn't matter when it's
doesn't matter.
catchy. It's catchy.
Familia, that's family.
Yeah.
Todos en oso, tortilla Nuevo León.
I don't even-
Tortilla tortilla.
I don't even know what Nuevo Leon means.
It's new.
New something.
Lion.
Nude?
New lion.
Nude lion?
Nude lion. It's the new lion. Lion.
Is that
Tortilla.
adult store on
Chat,
65?
chat.
Gold
What does
standard.
Nuevo Leon mean?
So anyway, that's my long play to get
All
wealthy.
right.
Dirty wealthy. And I'm going to split it with you guys.
Do Byway real quick so we can get back
Well,
to
we
it.
have to do Tortillas Nuevo León.
We already did
didn't
it.
We did do a pretty
Yeah.
good job for them.
Yes.
We did a great
Move
job.
on.
Okay. Byway Brewery is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio perfect for enjoying its finely crafted ales, lagers, and chef-driven food. What is chef-driven food?
Driven by the chef. The chef decides.
Gotcha.
So it's not the manager or the owner.
Gotcha. Brewing equipment on our production site offers a unique backdrop for your private event, like a bridal and baby shower, birthday, reunion, and even corporate events. Conveniently located just off of 8094 and Kennedy Avenue South exit, come by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Thank you.
It's a town in Mexico.
Ah.
Nuevo
all right,
Leon.
That
Yes.
must be where the Martinez family
Does that
from.
stand for New Lion, though?
Not
Is
sure.
Leon Lion?
Well, I know Nuevo is new. I know that.
Right.
Founded by Conquistador Alberto del Canto.
There you go.
Okay.
Conquistador.
Fascinating.
All right.
The
So
things you learn on Lockpod.
You know, one
Yeah.
of the things we learn on Lockpod.
if you're
is that
learning
the
on
city of
Lockpod,
Hammond
I'm worried about you.
is closed today.
Yes. For the
And,
second
for a
year in a row.
holiday.
Yeah.
So I saw yesterday, President Biden signed Juneteenth into a federal holiday, which is interesting.
1 year after the city of Hammond did
You
the
were
same.
look at you, ahead
Out
of the curve.
Of kin, ahead of the curve.
Last year was during COVID. You decided Juneteenth should be added.
I was still in mourning for my loss at that point. I just wanted a day off.
You know what, though? I think you decided that prior.
I did.
Yeah, it was way prior.
Last year was a tough year with race relations in the city. I'm not going to be funny during this because it's not a funny segment, so I'm going to check my funny bone at the door right now where we're talking about a subject that's sensitive and important to our country. We did want to have to recognize Juneteenth last year. The city of Hammond, one of the most diverse cities in Indiana, for sure. One of the more diverse cities in America. We have a sizable African-American population, a sizable Hispanic population, and a well-established Caucasian base. And we try to recognize all of the different nationalities. Obviously Mexican Independence Day, Cinco de Mayo, MLK's birthday, which is right in the middle of January. We've done a march every year since then, since the 80s, actually. And now Juneteenth is added to the list as well. This is an important day. And it's interesting to me is, embarrassingly, I'm a Caucasian. I know, in fact, all four of us are in here. And I hear a lot about the history that we learned as a kid, and I hear a lot of African Americans say it's white history that we're learning. We're not learning anything about our culture. And I've never really thought much about that. I'll be honest with you, because to me, it's like I try to just like see everybody as equal. And of course, I have great African American friends. I have great Hispanic friends. I have LGBTQ friends. I have Caucasian friends. Like I treat my friends the same because I
They're
love
just
everybody.
your friends.
They're my friends. I don't even really see it. It sounds stupid to say it, and I'm not going to say it because I know it angers people when you say it. But like, I love people, all people. I don't care who you are. If you're a good person, I love you. I want to be your friend, right?
Yep.
So when I hear people say that, we learned white history, we didn't, and I don't really give it much thought, I'll be honest, because I don't like thinking that way, because it violates like what's in my head about how people should be treated, right?
But it may be something you have to confront.
Well, and then you hear people talk about reparations and stuff like that, and I'll be honest, when I hear about reparations, I'm like, this is so hard. Like, how do you monetize? Of course, if one of your ancestors was a slave, and we could say they worked for this slave owner, right? How do you monetize that generations later? So I've always had trouble like coming to grips with reparations, and that we learned white history, didn't learn black history. But over the past couple of years, Kevin, I've realized that I don't know really much about important parts of American history.
It's embarrassing in a way, because I think you and I have the same kind of, we're same age. And when Juneteenth kind of got on our radar,
did you know what it was?
I didn't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that, right? That I didn't know. And I feel like I like to say that I know a lot of American history. I feel like I'm
do
or did. I thought,
I read extensively.
I took
about
a lot of history classes in college.
Yeah, I took U.S. history.
I love history. I love it.
Jill, before the past couple of years, did you know anything about Juneteenth?
No, I mean, I have my degree in teaching, and at no point did they cover anything like
this.
See,
and then all of a sudden you start thinking, like, wait a minute. This is making some sense that I didn't learn. I mean, maybe I am learning white history.
Right.
It's like,
John,
wait a minute.
John?
No idea.
So,
it starts, all of a sudden it's like, wait.
This is an important day.
Yeah.
Well, Juneteenth is important, and then I want to go into Black Wall Street in Tulsa and the race riots.
All
that's
right,
another part of American history. Honestly, that's 100 years ago.
Didn't know anything about it.
I think, honestly, if I go on Jeopardy and I see U.S. history come on, I'm like, hell
yeah. Bring it.
Bring it,
yeah,
right? I'm all over it, right?
Daily double.
Until last year, I didn't know about the Tulsa race riots.
Same.
I didn't know where the origin of Juneteenth came from.
Same.
And these are important milestones in African-American history.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about it. And I consider myself a very educated, smart person, especially in regards to U.S. history.
I feel the same.
So, I guess this is starting to hit home. Is like, wow. My whole, the model in my head, is sort of being, shattered,
And it makes you wonder, like, why did we learn, why was it not in our books?
Well, in Tulsa.
Why wasn't it? I mean, Tulsa, like when you hear about Tulsa, and I know you're going to talk about it in a second, Mayor, because I'm not going to get into detail like you are. But when you hear about Tulsa, it's like, how could this not have been in my history book?
It's so shocking and so racist and so it just shocks the conscious. That's why it's not. It's hard to rationalize.
Right.
I mean, as bad as, and of course, slavery is the stain on American history.
For sure.
That'll never go away. It's always going to be there. It's part of our history. That's why we need to teach it. That's why we need to talk about these things so that we never go there again. Like when you go to Germany and they talk about the Holocaust, there's laws about, you can't have swastikas, right? But they learn about their history so that they never repeat the same mistake again in Germany, right? Slavery is just as big of a stain on America as the Holocaust was on Germany. I mean, and we need to teach it and we need to talk about it so that we could learn from it.
So, what'd you learn about Black Wall Street in Tulsa?
Well, let's talk about Juneteenth first.
Yeah.
So why it's important. Juneteenth, which combines the words of June and 19th.
That I figured out.
Right. It's an official national holiday. Now it's an official national holiday.
Pretty cool. As of yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
Usher was there.
Marking the day, Major General Gordon Granger of the Union Army read federal orders to the city of Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865. The proclamation stated that all slaves in the state of Texas were now free, 2.5 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Well, only a couple months after the end of the Civil War. So
June 19th, that would have been after Lincoln was dead already, too.
Yeah, April, right?
65. So Lincoln had already been killed.
Which was right at the end of the Civil War, I think.
By the way,
April,
how big is this country?
1865.
First off, to get to Galveston, Texas. Galveston's on the Gulf, right?
Yeah.
It's way down there. Like,
well, it's like
and what would have been considered Mexico only a few years before that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, 30 or 40 years before that.
Right, before the Texas
that part of Texas
and
would have been part of Mexico until the Spanish-American.
1820, whatever that was.
Right? So, obviously, a very big country. So, for 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, all slaves in Texas were still...
Well, remember, though, it was only a couple months after the end of the Civil War. And
Right.
so slaves in the South weren't really freed until the Confederacy went away.
True.
So, so it really, I mean, I'd have to look at that up and what the timing of all that was. But yeah, I mean, amazing, right? So it's a good thing to, and before yesterday, there really wasn't a federal holiday to, I don't want to say celebrate, but just to acknowledge that day in American history.
And
so
now there is.
Now it is, which means that hopefully now this becomes in the better conscience of young people in America. Because as they grow up, they should learn about this day, and now they will.
Instead of hiding parts of our history.
Instead of being 50 years old and finding out about it.
Yeah, we had slavery, unfortunately, and we need to learn from it so that we can get over these race problems. And we had Jim Crow, And we had horrible things happen even after the Civil War. And
on. And
we're going to talk about one of them right now. Obviously, we know about Jim Crow and Jim Crow laws, and we learned about them, and voter suppression laws, which are still happening, unfortunately. But the one that I learned about literally a year ago, which is shocking and horrible to say it out loud. Jill, could I say the same for you? Black Wall Street, did you hear about that until...
No, not like a year ago, like you said, yeah, when this all got brought up.
John?
Same.
Kev?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have 4 Caucasians,
four whiteys.
All of us are well-educated. I mean, higher than the average American. All of us went to school our whole life, and here we are learning about Black Wall Street. And what it was is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Did you want to say something?
No. I was just going to say, and Jill's even a teacher.
And Jill's a teacher.
Think about that, right?
Greenwood in Tulsa, it was the Greenwood section of Tulsa, was a thriving community with luxury shops, restaurants, grocery stores, hotels, theaters, barbershops, salons, pool halls, nightclubs, funeral homes, offices for doctors, lawyers, and dentists. They had their own schools, their own post office, bank, and hospital. All of the businesses in Greenwood section of Tulsa were African-American owned, which is in the 1920s.
Yeah, I doubt there was a lot of that going on around the country.
There was not. And you're talking Oklahoma, which is not like the most progressive state. Still,
yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, when do you think it became a state?
Probably what, 18... Was it?
You think? I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. I'm just curious. When did Oklahoma become a state?
Yeah, it was after the Civil War.
Wow, look at that.
It would be, what?
1907.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Good job, Kev.
All right.
So anyway, Black Wall Street is that section of Greenwood became known to everybody. It was Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was thriving, right? And then, like so many other, and this is literally 100 years ago that this happened.
Yeah, 1921, you're right.
It's interesting that it's taking place right as Juneteenth is becoming a national holiday, which is why this is my speech tomorrow. So anybody that goes to the Juneteenth celebration, this is where I'm going with it. So I'm sort of playing with my speech on the podcast.
All right, good.
So it'll make it better for tomorrow.
That's at MLK Park, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. MLK Park tomorrow.
10 o'clock,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
So the incident that led to the race riot was allegedly a young man, 19-year-old African-American shoe shiner, enters an elevator with a 17-year-old white female who's the elevator operator. She screams. And the African-American, the young boy, 19-year-old Dick Rowland is his name. He runs. Of course, I imagine anytime you're alone with a white woman and she screams, you're probably going to run, even if you did nothing wrong.
In that situation, yeah. What do you do, wait around for something worse to happen?
So the Tulsa Tribune posted a story that helped, basically spearhead the riot. Posted a story, and the police arrest Rowland for sexual assault on Sarah Page. The 19-year-old was arrested for the assault on the 17-year-old. It was in the paper and enraged people. So 1,500 white men arrive at the courthouse to lynch the 19-year-old African-American boy. The Tulsa, approximately 75 African-American men arrive at the courthouse to protect Rowland from being lynched, and fights and chaos break out. By dawn, thousands of white people entered Greenwood, looting, burning businesses and the homes over an area of 35 square blocks.
I thought I read something that even there was airplanes or something, or there was fire. I don't want to say fire bombing, but there was all kinds of stuff going on, which is just amazing. Again, it's could you imagine airplanes firebombing a neighborhood and not knowing about it in America by other Americans?
The governor at the time, Governor Robertson, declares martial law, and the National Guard arrives in Tulsa in the Greenwood section. By June 2nd, so that's when did this all start? May 31st, so 3 days later. By June 2nd, some 6,000 African-American Tulsans were under armed guards and held at the local fairgrounds awaiting a white person to apply for their release with the promise of responsibility for the detainees' behavior. So basically, all African-Americans are swept up by the National Guard, and they're held under armed guard at the local fairgrounds. By the time it was over, 1,256 houses were burned, 250 homes were looted, 2 newspaper headquarters were destroyed, a school was destroyed, a library was destroyed, hospitals, churches, hotels, stores, and other black-owned businesses were destroyed or damaged by the fire. Approximately 10,000 African Americans were left homeless.
That's crazy.
Property damage at the time amounted to over $1.5 million in real estate and $4.75 million in personal property, which is equivalent to, let's just say, $35 million in 2020. 37 people were killed.
Although I've heard like there's different reports on that, right? I think right now they're doing some archaeological stuff in Tulsa to see if there were some mass graves, and they're trying to figure out what the number. Yeah, right. I mean, think about that, John. Right? Mass graves in Tulsa after a race riot. I mean, which is crazy. I don't even want to call it a race riot. It was just a destruction.
When it comes, like when you think about, let's say that in the 1920s you were a young African American boy or girl, and your dad owned a hotel or a business. And it was burned to the ground.
Grocery store.
And your entire life savings was destroyed. And then you are going to pass that wealth on through your kids for generations.
Yeah,
so
we
your
talked
kids
about that,
through
right?
the
Generational
40s,
wealth.
50s, and 60s would have been wealthier than they
Sure.
were because mom and dad's business was thriving in Tulsa. And all of that was wiped out. And I'm sure there was no insurance or anything to cover the losses suffered by the African American families.
I mean, you hear it, right? You always hear that term generational wealth. And for when you discuss that in the African American context, that's a big issue on a discussion on where African Americans are versus other ethnicities is the lack of generational wealth and the inability of generational wealth. Although now it's improving, and that's a great thing, right?
Yeah.
But think about the amount of generational wealth.
How many kids didn't go to college?
How many families didn't?
How many kids
right.
suffered and were hungry and didn't have adequate housing because of this? Even when we were kids, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kids were affected even when we were kids, right? I tell you, like in a situation like this, and when you usually talk to me about reparations, I usually just sort of like, hey, what are you going to do? How are we going to monetize
Sure.
your ancestors and during the Civil War times were slaves? How are you going to monetize that in 2021, right?
1700s, 1800s, right? Yeah, it's a tough issue.
I think Oklahoma. I think it'd be pretty easy to figure out damages, and I think the state of Oklahoma should be responsible to the families where you could prove we lost this business and it was worth this in modern money.
Yeah.
The state of Oklahoma should be responsible.
The legislature in the state of Oklahoma should step up.
And instead of burying it. And this goes back to what we were talking about before is, we're pretty well educated. We're all Caucasian. We never learned about Juneteenth in all of our education up until last year or the year before. Never learned about Black Wall Street up until within the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we were talking about this in pre-show, I was kind of looking back on things that really opened my eyes up to race issues and things of that nature. And I think one of the things that I remember in high school reading was Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, and that was just something that just blew my mind, right? And I guess a lot of people read Native Son, right? That's another one, Richard Wright. But those two books probably were the first time I, as a student, had my eyes opened up to things of this nature. And I think it's important to, number one, discuss these things. And I think us, just bringing it up, I think today, Mayor, is important. And the fact that Juneteenth is now a holiday and we're talking about Tulsa and Black Wall Street, it's really important, I think, as a country for us to really acknowledge this, talk about it, learn about it, become educated on it. That's one thing that drives me crazy about social media is just the instant reaction without knowledge or education. And I think it's important to really dive into this, understand the issue so you can speak about it. And I know, Mayor, you obviously have to deal with these issues as a public official all the time. You gotta know this stuff. You can't just react. And I think that's sometimes when we fail.
One of the great things about living where we live in a diverse city and, raising our kids in a diverse city is you learn so much about all the other nationalities and all the other, the families that live in our city. Like when we celebrate MLK, I know way more about MLK since I've been mayor than I've ever learned because, every year we go through, our 2-hour presentation talking about MLK.
Yeah.
I have to give speeches about MLK and I have to research my speeches, and I'm always amazed by him, by the way. The fact that he was like 41.
That's what is crazy about
everything he did before like the age of 40,
yeah,
which is incredible.
Yeah.
Like that. At Cinco de Mayo, for instance, we celebrate every year. Mexican Independence Day, we celebrate every year. St. Patrick's Day, I celebrate that every year with a fundraiser, right?
Yes.
No, Juneteenth.
There's all kinds of stuff to learn about. Go learn it.
Add Juneteenth to the list.
Add
in
it.
Hammond and across the United States of America. And when we're talking about critical race theory and whitewashing parts of our history, that's what happened. That's why we don't know about Juneteenth. That's why we don't know about the Tulsa race riots. And we're better for knowing this stuff, for knowing how
that doesn't
nasty.
Mean that doesn't mean you can't have a discussion or an argument about it or whatever. I mean, but it just having the discussion, I think, is a very important first step in becoming educated on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a better person for knowing about the race riots in Tulsa. I'm a better person for knowing it because, you have to know how dirty and ugly we could become. We Americans. How ugly we could become and how unfair we could become, and it's something to learn from, so that 100 years from now we're better off for it. You know?
Yeah, amen. All right. Well, that was good. I like that.
We had an earthquake yesterday in Indiana.
You know what? Okay. So John, I'm not kidding you, and you can ask her.
That was a good transition.
It was very smooth.
Tremors.
But like seriously, like we can't be super funny and jovial during that last topic.
No, I mean it's an
When
important.
we're talking about earthquakes, we can
joke.
We
all
can
we
rock
want.
the
So
world.
I got a call from Sandy. I got a call from Sandy yesterday, John. One of the staff members at my law firm, and she was like, "Kevin, I thought she texted me. I thought a truck hit the building." And then I found out it was an earthquake. I was like, yeah, whatever, Sandy. And then yes, there was an earthquake yesterday. So apparently it was felt at my firm in Munster.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Did you hear about
maybe
this
it's just
earthquake?
shoddy construction.
That, or maybe Sandy was just trying to get out of work.
She probably was trying to get out of work.
Like, there's an earthquake. I got to go.
She's listening right now.
She would never.
Never.
Sandy is a saint.
She
So
is.
what was-
She,
so
yes,
what was-
working for me, she is.
So what was the
Working
magnitude
with
of
me.
the earthquake? Midwestern?
3.8.
So, like, what's that compared to the big ones they get in California?
I think Tom just fell over.
Whoa.
I was nervous. I wasn't. Why are you laughing?
I take
so-
it Tom has experienced more
I'm back.
earth-shattering earthquakes.
What was your? What is, by the way?
3.8.
So, as a Californian,
That's not even.
what is your?
You get 3.8 when a semi drives by. 3.8 is nothing. Like it's embarrassing. We're even talking about this.
What's your most?
I was in the big earthquake.
in '88.
What do you mean,
Yeah,
the
during-
big earthquake?
Well, I
Was
thought
that
that
the
was
one
in
that
like
happened during the
1914 or
baseball
Yes,
something.
it happened during the World Series.
I remember watching that on
I was
TV.
on leave from the Navy.
88. It was 88,
yeah,
right?
It was. Yeah.
All right. Oakland versus San Francisco. The base.
Bay Bridge. I was in Vallejo, California when it hit.
What was the magnitude?
It was like 6.7 or something.
you feel
stupid.
it?
And by the way, it's exponential. So when you talk about like 6.7, is 6.8 and 6.7 is exponentially different.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
Like magnitude is exponential. So like if it's like an 8 point something, it's major
Forget it.
destruction. Right.
Tsunami.
So like, it was like 6.7, I think. Could you look that up, John?
Yep.
The Bay
could
Area
you feel
earthquake.
it?
Yeah,
So Vallejo.
I'm gonna
Vallejo
tell you
is- How
something.
far is that from?
it's in the Bay. I thought we were in the epicenter because I was working I was in the Navy, but I was on leave and I was working in a
like a side job or something?
that shows you how poor I was.
Right.
I had a full-time job and I was working another job when I was on vacation from the Navy. I was in Vallejo. I was working in a mechanic shop with the cars raised on the things and all that, right? And I'll never forget it as long as I live. This is one of those memories that I'll never forget, despite how much I trashed my brain, right? Everything started shaking. The first jolt is always the big one. That's the one Sandy felt. If she felt it, is the first jolt's always the big one, and then it just continues.
It's like waves,
for
right?
usually like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Right? When you say waves, this is the thing I'll never forget is that first jolt hit us, and I ran out of the shop because we were below cars, and I was like, Vallejo's hilly, and we were on the top of a hill and overlooking like the Bay Area. You could see a wave,
Like undulating
Yes.
land.
I'll never forget it. As long as it
That's
was like water. It was like water.
crazy.
It was just like I saw like a big wave of concrete, basically, and we thought we were in epicenter, and we knew that the World Series was that day. Of course, we were in the Bay Area. Everybody knew about the World Series. Is the A's against the Giants. So like the whole world was watching where we were.
And
I
was
was-
during the game.
No, it was
No, it's
before the
pregame.
game. Right.
Pregame.
Because it was like 5:00.
Yep.
We were like wrapping up at the shop, and I was going to jam home.
But
and
there were
watch
guys
World
on the
Series.
field.
Yeah, they were getting
Hanging
ready,
out,
stretching out and
BP,
all that.
yep.
So I was working with my stepdad at the time, and we felt it. We shut down the shop and we started driving home thinking we were right in the middle. By the way, we have earthquakes all the time in California, and 90% of them don't cause any damage. And then we get on the highway and we start driving home, and then you're hearing the Bay Bridge collapsed.
That was
There
crazy
was
when you saw
damage at
those.
Candlestick Park, which is where the game
Giants,
was,
yeah.
and we were like, and then they were like, the epicenter was downtown San Francisco, right where the game was. It was so incredible. I'll never forget that moment in my life.
John, we know what the magnitude was? 89, I noticed, by the way.
Yeah, it was 89. It was 6.9.
Oh, I said
Wow.
6.7.
All right.
So that's even worse, and it's exponentially worse.
6.9.
That's an earthquake. my
Loma
friend.
Prairie was the epicenter.
That's
So there you
an
go.
earthquake, my friend. My dad was also in San Francisco. My dad, Tom, was in San Francisco at the time.
Versus your dad, who? George? Or?
No, my stepdad I was with that
Oh,
day.
oh,
Okay, yeah.
got it.
63 deaths.
Yeah, man. Most of that was
4,000
from
injuries.
materials falling off the buildings.
How many, John?
63 deaths and 4,000 injuries.
So what
Wow,
happens
wow.
is, back in the old days, they would have like brick walls, and
So
then
Tom
like,
Sr. was in San Francisco as well.
Yeah, and he
Wow.
didn't even tell me, which is totally jacked up. I didn't even know. I knew I was in the earthquake, and I was like, hey, I'm safe, everybody. We didn't have Facebook, right?
Sure.
And then my dad's like, yeah, I'm in San Francisco. I'm like, dickhead. I'm like across the bay from you. You're my freaking dad. Don't even tell me.
How about a visit?
Right? How about a visit, right?
How
How about like, hey,
20 bucks?
son, I'm in town, right? Jag off. Sorry, Dad's not listening. I'm still pissed about
Just
that.
yell at President Lincoln here,
Yeah,
which also looks like Tom Sr.
So anyway, yeah. But yeah, he was in a hotel actually, and
Wow.
it was a really old hotel, and everybody like moved out of the hotel and slept in Golden Gate Park, and it was pretty scary, man.
There's somebody right here on chat saying, Sean Manor, I was in Japan for the 1995 Kobe earthquake, 6.9.
Whoa.
Mother Nature is no joke. Wow, interesting. So,
What's this? This is an adult class? Is this like the earthquake strike in this classroom?
Yeah.
Not that anybody that's listening to the podcast could appreciate it, but it has to be an adult class. 'Cause
John's finding some YouTube stuff.
it was 5 o'clock p.m. when it happened.
Yes. Oh wow, here we go.
See?
Yeah.
Look
Everyone
at-
get out.
Yeah, that's an earthquake.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, there's the people that are listening to our podcast can't appreciate what we're looking at. That was a bad earthquake.
Yeah, they just said it's videos of different things happening in California at the time of the
So anyway,
earthquake.
we're
Wow.
a podcast, so why don't we
3.8.
Let's
so
just say
the moral of this story is 3.8 ain't nothing.
we're looking at
Ain't a thing.
videos of shit falling down and people running and
Babies
oh, there's even a little baby car smashing a baby. Like
I think she was crawling under
that baby's
the
like
car.
40 right now, by the way. So the baby's alive and well.
Everyone, congratulations for surviving the Indiana earthquake yesterday.
Yes.
Did you mark yourself safe on Facebook?
Oh,
Jill?
I
idea.
totally should have.
Dang.
Title of the show.
Let's do it. Let's
Did
do
you
it
mark
today.
yourself
Lockpod
safe
crew
on
is
Facebook?
safe.
I wonder if that was even available.
Oh man,
I hope
that would
so.
have been
that'd have
perfect.
been hilarious.
That'd have been perfect. Good job, Jill.
I'm
Dang.
safe.
Jill, next time you come up with a stroke of genius like that, you gotta put it on
You
the
got to
chain.
do it. Yeah.
Well, that's just got to get off Android to do that.
Oh, let's
right.
talk about this.
I got another really good story. Jeffrey Toobin.
Yes,
You know about Jeffrey?
I recall.
He has a
Had
very
something to do with-
unfortunate name.
Had something to do with the New Yorker.
Yeah, he does.
Like
My
if you ever
God.
get like, hey, I was Toobin the other day, and like just
Inner
Jeffrey's name.
Toobin?
No, Toobin is
Oh.
like I'm thinking more. So anyway, Jeffrey Toobin. For those of you that aren't aware, Jeffrey Toobin is the legal analyst on CNN. Was
Yes.
also like a bigwig with the New Yorker,
Yeah.
right? And this is like during a pandemic when everybody's
the New
doing
Yorker.
Zoom calls. We're still doing Zoom calls, but anyway, Jeffrey Toobin was on a Zoom call at the New Yorker, not in his role at CNN. And at the end of this Zoom call, he masturbated on camera and didn't realize he was on camera. He thought the camera was off. So
Couple lessons here.
that's a buzzkill, obviously. If you're
For the
on
others.
for
Maybe
the
not for
others
him.
on, yeah, no, I mean he was obviously pretty happy about it, but like all the others that were on the Zoom call were horrified, right? And he got fired from the New Yorker,
He did.
and of course, like you got to explain it to everybody. Why'd you get fired? You know,
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
pleasuring myself, and I didn't realize the camera was on, and they're like, "Why didn't you put like a cloth over it or something?" And he's like, you know.
Yeah.
And what about that Zoom call made you so excited, Andrew? You know, like just stuff like, or Jeffrey, my bad. Isn't that an unfortunate name?
Why? You've got Zoom open in front of you.
Yes.
Right.
Why even risk it, man? Even if you know the camera's
Did he know it was on? The camera was on? I mean,
It was
it
on,
like,
but
was
he
it like
thought it
I
was
didn't know
on.
my camera was on? Is that what?
That's
John,
what
is
he's
that it?
saying. Yeah.
Does
So
it
he's like,
matter?
yeah. Well, that's what I guess. That's right. That's what I was about to say. So it's if the camera was off, it's fine to be pleasuring yourself on
That
a Zoom
happens,
call,
dude.
But if
Wait,
the
Well,
camera's
you've never
on,
pleasured yourself, right? Come on.
Wait,
If the
what
cam-
kind
I
of
don't even
Zoom
get-
meetings
in
are
a
you
Zoom
guys
call?
in?
That's what I'm saying, Jill. He's on a Zoom call. What the
mean,
hell are they talking about?
camera
finish?
on or off,
Right.
camera on
Right.
or off, it's really ridiculous.
I wonder how far into it he was.
I don't
That's
want to
what I'm
know.
wondering.
I
Did
don't
he
want to
get all the
know.
way?
I don't want to know. I would
Dude,
say no.
You got to finish if you're like.
No,
if
you
you're gonna
don't.
get cut.
Stop.
He got.
But the crazy part of the story is he came back to CNN.
Yeah, he came back to CNN.
They had him on.
They brought him back on.
Welcome back, Jeffrey.
So the reason.
High five.
Yeah.
So the reason.
By the way,
no,
the camera.
no,
and
I'll
by the
pass.
way, the camera's always on when you're here.
You got to fist bump Jeffrey every time you see him, right?
No, thank you.
No, I don't want to shake. It's cool. You know,
I don't even know if I
COVID.
want to fist bump.
I'd fist bump him.
Elbow.
Yeah, elbow. The foot tap. Bam. No, Jeffrey, don't take any offense. But I don't know where that
foot
hat's
tap
been.
here.
Yeah.
Has he addressed? I mean,
Yes.
listen. If you're in a Zoom call and you're like, "I need to masturbate right now,"
I mean,
you
I'm-
might have a problem. Has he talked? Does he have a problem, like a sexual addiction? Or
He didn't say that. He said he was a flawed human being who makes mistakes.
Well, no shit.
And he said that his
Yeah.
behavior is deeply moronic and indefensible. Also
These are great.
True.
These are great adjectives he's using.
I didn't think other people could see me.
They
He
could.
said, which again is ridiculous. And he said
Right.
the months after being fired by the New Yorker after 27 years at the magazine had been miserable, and said he was trying to be a better person. I'm trying to become the kind of person that people can trust again. So welcome back to CNN.
But I don't understand this because a good friend of mine I went to law school with, Danny Savalos. Okay, Danny
I've met him.
Danny is a CNN analyst, and he's a lawyer. He's like one of their legal analysts, right?
Sure.
Danny is so good looking.
Why didn't he get the promotion?
Danny is so smart. Danny doesn't jack off in front of cameras,
I
right?
don't think so.
Like, what the hell?
That
They
we know
pass
of.
Danny up and they bring this guy back? Like, what does that say about your bench there, CNN?
Well,
This is the
don't
best guy
insult
you can
Danny.
find. But Kevin, seriously, this is do you have to go with the guy that jacked off? The legal analyst? Like, there's so many other qualified lawyers that would be
I'll
great.
take the
This
job.
is our guy.
Can I get the job?
That's what I'm saying, dude. You would never do that on camera. I know
Lock
that
pod in the
about you.
rear view mirror.
Kevin,
Off
if
the
you did it, it
CNN.
would be in a dark room with the doors closed. I know how you roll.
Listening to
it
Steely
wouldn't
Or at a
happen.
Steely Dan concert in a sweater.
Just angrily. Okay.
Hey,
See, I'm
19.
comfortable with this topic because I was on a submarine. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it's
lot
human
of
nature.
downtime.
Jeffrey Toobin. It's human nature.
Did
right?
you have any cameras?
It's just
Zoom.
unfortunate his name is Toobin. That is a really bad
him.
name.
It's true, yeah.
Did you get caught
Good
Toobin?
for all of
Yeah,
us.
got caught Toobin, you know?
It's great for all
Toobin
of
with
us.
Toobin. That's
Toobin
his
with
new.
Toobin.
Well, he's back, so you can watch him on CNN.
Do you
That
guys
sucks.
think he should
Does
be
he know
hired
he's on
back?
camera?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think. I think Danny Savalas should be the legal analyst for CNN, and I'm pissed that they
Tom's
passed him
middle
up.
finger.
Tom's
Here we
middle
go.
finger. CNN. Hire Danny Savalas.
Well,
Get
they
rid of
already did.
Toobin.
They have hired him. Just
They got to
promote
promote him.
Promote him.
Danny Savalas deserves to be the chief legal analyst.
Another petition. This can go with your hot barbecue.
I am. Yeah, this is more important than the hot barbecue. I'm already.
I don't know about that. I know how you are. With,
I've moved
with
on
food.
with B-dubs. They told me where to stick it, and I'm sticking it
No,
there.
you're not.
Danny
We
Savalas
love B-dubs.
is a great guy. He was in my wedding, by the way.
Sponsor.
And he's smart. He went to University of Michigan for undergrad. He went to Notre Dame for law school. And he should
Good
be the
pedigree.
chief legal analyst for CNN. Screw Jeffrey Toobin.
Right. Let Jeffrey Toobin work his way up again.
Yeah, Jeffrey Toobin, go
That's
over
what
to
she
like
said.
YouTube.
Yeah. Or no, be an intern again and work your way up.
I'm with you, Kevin. I don't think maybe he shouldn't be hired back to what he was,
Yeah.
but should a guy's life forever
No.
in
Yes.
perpetuity be ruined because
no.
he masturbated? He pulled his peen out during a
No.
freaking.
You got to go off camera. Like, seriously.
If it was intentional,
So
like,
Tom,
hey,
you're okay with it
I-
as long as the camera
If there's
was off.
yeah.
Well, no, he thought the camera was off.
People do this,
no,
John.
No, I'm not
People
okay with
do
that.
this.
People don't do
I'm
this
not okay
during a
with that.
Zoom call.
I'm not okay
You
with that.
didn't know he was on a
Apparently
Zoom
they
call.
do.
Yeah.
But if you intentionally do it on
He
camera,
did not intentionally do it.
then you should. Then that's a problem
What?
for me.
I'm just going to say this. Why didn't he go like 3 feet away? Just get off camera.
Or how
And
about
go to town?
How about when you're done
Tie
with
yourself
work?
up. I don't care.
How about, no.
right?
You know
how
what?
About like just when you're done with work, off.
I want to see the footage. That's the only way to decide
No,
if he knew
no.
he was on camera or he wasn't.
Pull it up.
No, do not bring that up.
I don't think it's out
Dude,
there.
That's what he said.
Someone has to have that. Can you imagine if they were recording the call? If they recorded that call, that would be classic.
You're like, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what are you doing, Jeffrey?
He's like, yeah, say my name.
oh God, that's so bad, John. That is so
All right.
bad. All right, wrap it up.
All right, let's
Wrap
go.
things up on that note, on that exciting note.
Hey, you know what's cool? Coming up, we're interviewing Neil Doty, a founding member, original and founding member of REO Speedwagon.
Yes. So next Tuesday.
We're interviewing him today. Are we know we're playing the show next Tuesday?
Yeah,
for
he's-
sure?
we're gonna
We're
play
interviewing him today.
I don't know. Let's talk about this.
I agree. I agree.
This is kind of an exclusive, man.
It's going to be taped.
Yep.
Right.
Let's talk about how we drop this.
I agree.
I think people should have to like sub our YouTube channel or something to
I
see
think
it.
pay $6.
Pay $6.
We got a paywall coming up.
Let's just think about it. Like let's just ease into this one. It's going to
All
be a
right, well.
great interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give this to you for free. Like, seriously? You don't
REO
have to pay.
Speedwagon.
You don't have to
founding member.
pay to talk to us, to listen to us. You just got to listen.
That's
Just
it.
listen
You just
and-
gotta
and
have a
sup-
lot
and
of free
support
time.
our sponsors.
That's right. Support our sponsors.
All right, wrap it up. We're gonna have Neil Doty on soon enough.
I'm excited about that. So anyway, I want to say thank you very much, Kevin Chandler,
Welcome.
KCS. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Welcome.
Jill Gajewski, great job.
Thank you.
Great recommendations about me and Mark Saved. I like that. I liked it a lot. Jay Vez, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Great job. And of course, coming to you live from the locomotive. It's Tom McDermott, and I want to thank you for watching LockPod
And listening and subscribing.
Welcome
and
to the
rating.
Legion of Dozens. So I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday after we talk to REO Speedwagon.
Have a great Juneteenth.
See you, everybody.